Let's talk about Alien Isolation digital series. Welcome back guys, it's Raw Geek here. Yes, recently there was a digital series that dropped on IGN. I gave people the heads up that there was potentially this series coming and that it would be about Amanda Ripley because of the watch part of the replay watch tag that the Alien Twitter keeps talking about. We were like, what's the watch bit going to be? We heard it was going to be a digital series. We were kind of hoping it would be a brand new series, but it turned out to be basically the cutscenes from Alien Isolation, but with like a new twist and some extra story bits added on. Now, I've seen a lot of people unhappy with that announcement. Effectively, it's a compilation of cutscenes and people were like, oh, come on, just give us something brand new or the sequel to Alien Isolation already. Like a proper one, not the mobile game. But I don't think that criticism is too warranted for this. The difference between this and the mobile game announcement is that for years we've wanted a proper sequel to Alien Isolation, and then when we heard about Alien Blackout, we were hoping that could be it. When it turned out to be just a mobile game, people were then obviously and understandably disappointed, myself included. But the mobile game was okay. In fact, for a mobile game it was very good and it was quite a good Alien game. But that's not really the point. We wanted a proper AAA title release of the sequel to Alien Isolation, which was just a fantastic game. But we've only just heard about this digital series. It's not like we've been waiting years thinking it's going to be something brand new. So, it's free, it's just something that's supposed to be a bit of fun, a bit cool for us, just something for the fans. And we can't always just be, ungrateful because they'll just stop making stuff. They're having a difficult time anyway because, this merge is going on and they're not sure about the sequels for movies, and the fact that they gave us something shows they do kind of still care. So just, relax a little bit about that. I've also seen comments saying, well, what's the point of this? Well, things do get remade. Like, there's novelizations of the movies, there's comics, there's, things do get remade in the Alien franchise. In fact, all franchises do that. There's always like a book version of a movie and all that kind of stuff. So this is just, a series version of the game. So, So anyway, here's my review of the series. So it starts off with Amanda drifting through space, and she's basically on her comms trying to get someone to help her, and she decides to retell the story. Now that's a kind of a theme that's done in series and movies before, the sort of starting at the end and recapping. We see it all the time. Most notably, this reminded me of a recent series called Final Space, where the guy is at the end, he's in space drifting around, and he's telling you what happened to get to that point. But it's totally fine, that's quite a clever thing to do. We then quite quickly get into a cutscene, which is a direct cutscene from the game, which most of the footage is. But there'll be these moments where it sort of goes through the ship and Amanda will be talking over the top, narrating, while it sort of, transitions to a new cutscene and things like that. So that's the sort of added story beats that they were talking about. You'll also have moments happening where usually it would be in-game, a first-person view, seeing what happened. But this time they've kind of moved the camera closer to the action, and so it seems like it's part of the movie, or the series, whatever you want to call it. Whereas originally it was in the game, you were looking at that thing, they kind of moved the camera and played it again. This actually works quite well. It's pretty good actually, and you see some important moments that flesh out the story a little bit, because obviously so much of the story does happen in-game. It's not just all done by cutscenes, so if you only had the cutscenes, you might not really know what's going on too much. So that makes it stand out a little bit from the other compilations you can find on YouTube where they've just stuck the cutscenes together. It's not quite as good as the ones where they've got story bits which you're playing in between the cutscenes, so it's like 3 hours long, something like that, where you're running around and doing the action and you get to understand why Amanda went there and did that and why then the cutscene started. But it does do that a little bit, and it kind of does a bit of a one-upmanship of that, because it doesn't just have the gameplay footage, it does something a bit different. What it does is it kind of shows you that element happening, but changes the camera angle like I was talking about earlier, or actually superimposes an Amanda Ripley model on top of that scene, and so you can see what she was doing rather than first person. Now this was a nice touch, but admittedly the CGI wasn't great for this. You could kind of easily tell that she superimposed at times, and also, I mean, the original cutscenes are looking a bit dated anyway, to be honest, and the lip syncing wasn't perfect back then,
Some kind of alien organism. It's extremely dangerous.
But for some reason, the lip syncing of this new Amanda model put on top of a scene is so much worse. In fact, it's quite off-putting at times. It's truly quite bad.
Station's safe.
There's that. And there's the fact that you're a heartless bastard.
But if you can get over that bit, it's quite cool to see this fresh perspective. You've also got the big IGN logo on these videos. I'm not too sure why Fox sort of teamed up with IGN to this extent, but you know, there we go. And again, that's a little bit off-putting, but you kind of get used to it. But the problem is, because the episodes are about 10 minutes long each, there's 7 of them, it's not long before you're sort of ripped out of the story again and you have to like check the next one. So that's a little bit annoying, and what would be good is if they do a supercut where there's no sort of to be continued parts, it just does the whole thing in one go. That would be better in my opinion. So for that reason, at least make sure you play the playlists so it doesn't stop for too long before you get back into the action. What is good about the visuals, though, going back to that, is of course a lot of it's lifted, essentially taken from Alien Isolation, which did a fantastic job of recapturing the aesthetic from the original movie, looking like Nostromo. I mean, it's not on Nostromo, but all those sort of settings looks really, really good. It gives you that really nostalgic feeling, and it's quite atmospheric. It's pretty good. The audio is also excellent. You've got those clunky digital sounds of like the computers, what the sounds they make. You've got the hissing of the xenomorph, loud footsteps, foreboding that are coming towards you, from the game and that kind of thing. And other Foley, which just makes it all a bit sort of rich. And yeah, it's pretty nice sounding. The voice acting, of course, is good as well. So that helps you believe the story. In general, the series is put together really well. Aside from those few nitpicks about the CGI, which are, fairly forgivable, it's extremely engrossing. Though, like I said before, you might want to at least play the playlist, because when it stops, it's a little bit annoying. But look, this is for free, so we can't complain too much. All in all, I'd say if you haven't played Alien Isolation and don't really intend to, you definitely should watch this. If you have played Alien Isolation, it's still cool to get a fresh perspective, and like I say, I enjoyed it. If you're a die-hard Alien fan like me, you'll definitely watch it anyway, so there you go, you've probably watched it already. And yeah, I for one, think it's good. Out of 10, partly for comedic reasons, I give it 5.9 out of 10. That's the score that IGN bizarrely gave Alien Isolation when it came out. And that probably had a bit of an impact on its sales and success, which meant they didn't make a proper sequel to Alien Isolation. So it's a bit ironic they team up with IGN. Oh, and also another plug for something I've done recently. Do make sure you check out my comic book recap of Aliens Defiance, because that takes place around about the same sort of time as Alien Isolation, and Amanda's even in it briefly. And this sets up the series called Aliens Resistance, which is a 4-part comic book with Amanda and Zula Hendricks from Aliens Defiance. So that's after the events of Isolation. And there's also a new set of comics called Aliens Rescue, which takes place after Resistance. So again, you kind of need to catch up if you want to know what's going on with her and her story. And that leads me on to a perfect time to tell you about the giveaway I'm currently running. Do check out in the link below or wherever I put it. So far in the giveaway, we've got the 6-film collection, Blu-ray and digital. So all the canon movies on Blu-ray and digital. Aliens Resistance comic I was talking about. This is number 1. That's in it. And all the other 3 will be as well when they arrive. They're just not out yet. Well, the second ones are out, but it's just not turned up yet, but it will. I've also got Aliens Rescue on order, so that will be in there as well. I've got a Steam key to Alien Isolation Collection, which includes all the 7 sort of add-ons. So if you've not played it, you might be able to win that. There's also like a keychain and some other things. Do check it out. It's a good giveaway, I think. And this movie here behind me is Alien, if you hadn't noticed already. I saw this, the 40th anniversary edition, in the cinema, 4K. Never seen it in the cinema before, obviously, because I'm not old enough. That was really, really cool. I saw that just a couple of days ago. And I don't know, I just love Alien, and it's the 40th anniversary, so that's why I'm doing all these videos. I do them sometimes anyway, but there's more coming because we've got to celebrate. So guys, that about do it. Click like if you like that. Make sure you subscribe for more videos like this, and I'll see you on the next video. And until then, remember, in space, no one can hear you scream. Okay, bye. Guys, if you're still here, you're awesome! But as you are still here, why not check out some of my other videos? Oh, and if you haven't already, please click subscribe. Laters, haters.